Hi everyone, thanks for joining. And today we are going to cover our next session, that is A2A, which stands for Agent to Agent Protocols. And in today's session, we will be having bit less theory and we will be focusing more on the implementation side. And so far we have seen the tool calling agents, then we discussed the MCP. So now we move to the next evolution, that is AI agents collaborating with other AI agents. And we will be discussing a bit more in depth about this topic going forward. So just a recap, like so far we have covered the agents and the MCP, and we also discussed that in MCP we are establishing some kind of standards for the communication between the AI and the external tools so that we can avoid the rework, we can improve the reusability, and we can create a system, something like plug and play. So whenever somebody want to use some kind of capability, instead of creating their own tool, they can establish a communication with the MCP server and they can start using that capability through their AI system. So AI the agent made the AI autonomous and MCP establishing the standardizations there. And in today's session, we are going to establish or create the concept of the same standardization between agent to agent. So in MCP, it was between LLM to tool, and in A2A, it will be the between agent to agents. So now what is the A2A? So A2A allows agents to behave like a team instead of the isolation workers. For example, if you are working into an AI team and there will be like a lot of people working, there will be data engineer, there will be data analyst or DevOps or AIOps people will be there. And everyone is having their own expertise. And in order to improve the efficiency and accuracy of the task delegation is that a way the person who has that expertise will do that task. For example, AI engineer will develop the AI solution and AI ops will put that solution into the production because they have the expertise in that particular task. So that's why we are having the team and each member of the team is having some level of expertise. So same thing we want to replicate into the AI system. So there will be like multiple AI agents. Each of the AI agents will be having their own expertise. So whenever some AI agents need the somebody else agent's expertise, they can call out that agents and give or delegate their task to that agents and take the output. And the A2A solve the problem of communication, how a particular agent will call out or establish the communication with the another agents. That's how the A2A comes into the play to solve these problems. So the reason being is, why do we need it? And reason is very simple. A single big AI agents becomes very hard to manage, and real world system needs specializations. For example, if you create a single agent, it is capable of doing all sort of tasks. For example, it can write the code, it can handle the emails, it can create a connection with the external tool like RAG, etc. But if there is a single AI agent, then it will be very hard to manage. Like, not from developing point of view, but after putting the production, to monitor, to debug the things, it will be very hard. And even if the bugs comes in one of the component, the whole system will be the failed. So modularity will also be on the risk, and the management point of view also it will be a risk to having everything under the single agents. So this is the another reason that we cannot have single agent for all our tasks. And the another things is like we want to replicate the human work environment there in AI systems in the similar way that I gave given you the example. If in a team there will be like different peoples are there, and each people team is having their own expertise, and we are giving some sort of task as per their expertise. So same thing we want to replicate it. For example, if I am a agent who is like expert in booking the hotels, then you will give me the task if you are having some task with respect to the hotel booking. But if you are giving me the tasks with respect to the flight booking, and I know that as a agent I do not have that capability with me, so I need somebody else who can do the flight booking for that. So for that I need some agents, and I need some way to communicate with that agent, so that if I get a task that is not fulfilled by me, I can delegate to somebody else. So that's why we need A2A. in place for that particular to sort out such issue. Now let's discuss about the what are the different components of A2A. So in A2A, we are having different components. Like first, the agents. So there should be some agents, and agents are nothing but that individual entity that have some capability. They are capable of performing some sort of task. It can be anything, but they will be specialized. They will be the expert of that particular task. We call it the agents. Then we are having the agent card. So agent card is nothing but it's a kind of a resume or business card for that particular agent. For example, if a agent is there, that is for performing a task, and this task is like summarization. So this agent card will be having, okay, this is the agent name, and my capability and my skill set is that I can summarize the any text given to me. I can do this. So it will be having a kind of business card, or you can say it will be having a resume, in which we will be having all the skill set of a particular agents. What can this particular agent do? What are the limitation? How we can access it? If there is some authentication layer or not? How we can communicate it? What would be the input and output format? So everything will be there under the agent cards, and this agent card will be the accessible to all the agents, so that whenever they get a task and this task is not cannot be done by them, so they can look into that agent card registry and can check, okay, which is there any agent card that can perform this particular task. And if they find one, then they go to, okay, this is the agent, what is the name of this agent, what is the location of this agent. Then they will hit that particular URL with the proper input and output as per the agent card. So this is very important component in A2A when we establishing the communication between agent to agents. Then we are having the executor. Executor is nothing but it's a kind of a process that will convert your AI agents into a discoverable agent. So you have created a agents. Now you have created the agent, you can use it, but you need to expose these agents to everybody, not like when I say everybody, that is like to another agent as well. So you need to convert this agent, or you need to expose this agent to A2A server, and this things has been done by executors. Then we are having the communication layers. So communication layer is nothing but it will be like establishing a process or a format of the communication between agent to agent. So if agent has to delegate a task to some other agents, that has to follow some process, that has to follow some format. For example, for A2A, it's JSON RPC. So in it has to communicate through the JSON RPC, and it has to put their question, query, or task within that format, so that the another agent can understand and act on it as per the requirement. And then task delegation is also the part of the communication layer. When agent get the response from the communication layer, then it will plan like how I can delegate this task to my different tools if I am having, and this particular agent can have access to the different tools, MCB server, or in terms it can have access to the another AI agents as well. So this is the part of the task delegation. And then shared context memory is the part of, like, they will be also storing the memory as well, like which agent contacted us, what kind of work they given us, and what kind of response we have given to them. So such kind of the memory we have to store, and in for the like cache purpose or from the debug purpose, we have to do that. So these are the core component of A2A, and there might be some other component that will you have to explore as per the use case you are having. So in nutshell, agent is something like that can think and reason. Agent card describe the capability. Executors execute action. Communication layer enable all collaborations. Then shared is maintaining the continuity. And together, these components create a collaborative AI ecosystems that can communicate with each other in order to fulfill their goals. So far we have discussed what is A2A, why we need it, what limitation it is solving. So now let's understand how we like from the implementation point of view, if you are having the agents, what you need to do it. So for implementation, first you have like you must be having the user side, like you will be having browser, you will be having a front end, right? Then you will be having a host agent is a kind of orchestrator that will accept your query, and then it will decide, okay, to which agent I need to delegate this task if I'm not able to fulfill that task. Then there will be A2A client, and A2A also follow client server architecture. That means there should be one client, there should be one server. So client should be at the host level. So when wherever your host agent is there, you have to create a A2A client there, and A2A client will be having all the access to the uh, agent card discovery or agent card registry, I would say. So whenever a task comes to the host agents, the host agent pass it to the A2A client, and A2A client has access to all the agent cards that it can discover, and then it can go and search, okay, which agent is appropriate for my given task, and then there will be a A2A server. So now comes to the server side. For example, we are having the agent, we are having the LangChain, LangGraph agent, we are having the Google ADK agent, we are having the QAI agents. So if we want to expose these agents to A2A server or to A2A discovery, we need to create a corresponding A2A server. For example, for this agent, we have created this A2A server. We have for this agent, we have created this A2A server, and it is very easy to done. Like you just need to create just a extra Python script and run it, and it will create a server for that particular agent. And by doing this, you can expose your AI agents to the A2A discovery, and then client will establish a communication with A2A server, and it will delegate using the agent card, and this then A2A server will communicate with this AI agent. So you can see that any agent cannot hit directly to your AI agents. There is a layer of abstraction layer of A2A server, and that is also important from the security point of view. So like if you are having a AI agents and if you want to expose it, you can easily expose it. There will be no security threat as well, because the agent who is going to communicate is not going to know anything about AI agents, which tool you are using. You just uh, taking the JSON's format and replying the JSON format. That's it. So this is the high level implementation idea. And when we will move to the coding part, you will see that there, like we are creating the A2A server there, and we are creating the client over there, and you will find the similarity there as well. And yeah, that's the from the theoretical point of view today's A2A is the next evolution beyond the stand alone AI agents, and this is how in the real world scenario enterprise AI system are evolving from single assistant to the collaborative AI ecosystems. So it's similar to the, I would say, MCP, but MCP was for dealing with the LLMs and the tool, but A2A is dealing with between agent to agents, and agents in their internal working they can call to another MCP, another tool, or another agent. That's a different way, but it is creating a standardized communications for agent to agent protocol. For example, if you are a enterprise company A, you are creating some agents, and I want to utilize the expertise of that particular agent, then I can request you, okay, if you can host your agent through A2A discovery, I can utilize this for my purpose, and if you are agree, then we can do it for both the way, and it will be easy for us. Like the development time will be the faster, and less maintenance overhead on the engineering team. Yeah, that's about all the theory.
So how we can use A2A and MCP together? Can you just explain?
uh if you wanted to ask how they are both different plug, like A2A is like between agent to agent. Even if you want to use MCP with agent, then MCP will be communicating with the AI agent, and then this AI agent can communicate with the another AI agent. And if this another AI agent given a task to this agent who has access to that MCP, if this task require this connection with the MCP, then this agent can communicate with the MCP and get the required output and pass it to the another agent. So if you want to establish a communication between agent and MCP, then it will not be A2A, it will be simple agent to MCP protocol.
All right. Thank you.
Just like I have one question. Like I am a little bit confused. Like A2A is like good or like the MCP one? Like MCP will also do the same work. Like we can create different tools according.
Yeah, MCP is like with respect to the tool, right? In MCP, you can add tool, you can add resources, right? You can add prompts. But agent to agent is like there is a agent A, there is a agent B, and inside that agent there is a MCP. So there is a MCP is one level down in the agent, and A2A is one level above that MCP. You can, if you want to understand in that way.
Okay.
So both are similar, like in the sense of like both are trying to establish a protocols for the communications. But MCP is a communication between AI agents and tools, and A2A is a communication between agent to agent. So that's the major difference between them. Anybody else, guys? Okay, if not, like we can move to the demo part. So so guys, like while we are moving to the demo, even if like you may feel that this code is something bit complex and you are not getting it, so I would recommend you, like, please don't be confused, don't be irritated, just try to understand the high level idea. And the high level idea is that we are able to establish a communication between the different agents. And for today's demo, we are going to use ADK as a framework, which is the agent development kit given by the Googles. Today we are going to have three agent. Like one is this client agent, you can see that, and this client agent will be our host agent or the main agent, and then it will try to connect with this remote agent. So we are having two remote agent over here. One is the remote agent one, another is remote agent two. We have given it. So let's discuss the first remote agent, what it does. So uh, whenever you are working with the A2A protocols, you have to have the agents. That things is very clear from the theory point of view as well. So it is we have created it as a fly agent. So first, like, let me go to that. So this is the flight agent, and this is a very simple agent. I haven't used any API to call anything. I'm just doing, it's just a simple Python function as a tool just to replicate the real world scenario. So I'm exporting the required library over here, and I'm also creating a search flight tool. So the task of this particular agent is to take user query, and if user query is related to the flight, so it will try to help the user by searching the flight. So for example, if I'm asking, okay, I want to have a flight from Delhi to Hyderabad, so it will go to the internet and it will search what are the flight availables from Delhi to Hyderabad, and it show it to me. So this is the task, like high level task of this particular AI agent. So I'm using the OpenAI agent here. So this is like instruction I'm creating over here. Instruction is something like that. You have to search the flight, and you have to keep the formatting. So such kind of such structure I'm giving, and suggest minimum three option to the user as per the preference, price, and duration. So these are nothing but the instruction I'm giving to my AI agents, because I want to control the output of the AI agent in terms of the quality, in terms of the format, and putting some guardrail as well. Then I'm using this OpenAI model. Then I'm wrapping this OpenAI model into the light like LLM agent, so that I can use this model for the ADK. So here I'm just putting creating a root agent. So this is the syntax for creating the AI agents into the ADK. You have to pass a name, you have to pass the model. Model I'm using the OpenAI, so that's why I'm putting the model. Otherwise, if you are having a API key for Google, then you can pass the Gemini model as well. Then I'm providing the description here, flight search agents. Then I'm passing the instruction. Instruction is nothing but the prompt, like how I want to control the AI. Then I'm passing a tools also. Tool is nothing but uh, uh, this tool will go to the internet, and it will try to search the available flights, and it will give it to the LLM, and then LLM will try to understand how to present it to the user. So these are the tool, this is the tool I have created. Then I am wrapping it to A2A protocol. So this line of command, this particular line of command is acting as an executor. So you have created a agent, and by this line, like last line, you are exposing this particular AI agents to the A2A discovery. So this is acting as an executor for you. And if you are using some other framework, for example Crew AI or LangGraph, then you have to write some bit more code. Like instead of one line, you have to write something 50 or 100 lines of code to create the executor. But A2A has been developed by the Google, and this ADK is also developed by the Google. That is why it's so compatible that one line of code will create a executor for you. So this is like flight agent we have created. And now let's see what I have done in this tool. So the tool is nothing but I have created a Python function over here, and this Python function will take a detail, and I have created some hard coded things, and the hard coded thing will give you the some option flight, randomly selected flight, along with some details. And I'm not going to the internet in reality because I don't have the API, but I tried to replicate the same thing through the Python function. Like it will get the flight request, and flight request will be having these are the details, deep hour, deep meaning duration, flight hours, arrival time. So all the details that are required to search the flight, it will be the asked from the user, and it will give it to that particular function, and this function will try to generate such kind of the output. And this we will assume that this output is coming from the internet, but in real time you can have the search API, and instead of this particular function, you just have to write a request module and hit that particular API through some particular parameter required by the API. So this is the tool I have created, and this is the simple Python function, and I have added this tool over here. So in LangGraph, we were using the dot bind syntax for combining the tool with the LLM, but in ADK, we are having this way of combining the tool with the AI agents. Like we have to pass the parameter like tools equal to as a list of the tools. It can be n number of tools. Like here, I am just using only one tool, so I am using this tool as of now. So from the concept wise, I know I understand there might be some confusion or like question with respect to the syntax. But if you have any question with respect to the logical point of view of how we are defining the agents here, how we have defined the flight tools here, you can ask.
Like I have a like this port, like in the last we have defined port 8001.
Yeah. So reason being is that like you have created this AI agent, right? You can
Yeah.
use this particular AI agent on your local, right, or on your local server. If you have to, if you want to make this AI agent discoverable, you cannot keep this agent at your local, right? You have to host it some particular URL, right, on some other server, and at some URL point, right, or ARN. So that's why when you try to create a executor, in executor you have to pass your agent, and you have to pass the address also, like through what address you want to expose this particular AI agents. So I want to keep everything on my local because I don't have any other server. That's why I'm just giving the port here. Port number is 8001. And if you have some different server, then you can give the ARN, proper URN number of that particular location. So it will expose this particular AI agents to that particular server.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So any other question, guys? And after that, whatever like we have followed for this particular one agent, same thing we have to follow for all the agents that we want to expose through A2A discovery. So now we have created this AI agents. Let's run this file and expose the server through the A2A discovery. So I'm just, this is the command, like I'm using the unicorn uh, to run this server. And even if you don't get this, please don't be confused, like it's just a normal CLI command. So my this one is like up and running. So if you want to see, okay, how would I know this if this particular AI agent is working or not, right? So for that we can have a look at the agent card. Let me show you the agent card for that one. You can see that this is the agent card. It has the capability, it has the default input output, like text will be the input, and if it will be image, then it will be coming as a image. Then default output will be the again text and plain. Then description, it is the description is that flight search agent, and description is being taken from here. Yeah, here, flight research agent, and go. Then we are having this skill set. So it is the again description, and this description is like taking from this instruction I have given, and that is being done by the ADK under the hood. So from here it has been taken, uh, this description. And then it is having the example. So if you want to give example also, you can give the example so that accuracy of the discovery can be improved. Then it's id, name, tag is just a llm, then description, call a self function, then the support authentication. Like if you have some sort of authentication, then you can add here, otherwise it will be false. And then url, as of now I'm just running it at my local, so that's why it's coming as a local host. And if you have some other server, then it will be coming at the proper url that anybody like any website, so that anyone can, or any agent can have access to that particular agent. So this is like representation of a simple agent card. And I hope now you get the idea what is the agent cards and how it helps the AI agents to understand what this particular agent can do, what kind of input output I can expect from this particular agent in order to execute the task, and if there any authentication layer, what kind of model it is there. So this is the agent card, and every agent will be having this card. And now this is the remote agent one. Now let's move to the remote agent two. So remote agent two is like our hotel agent. So this is the hotel agent. So it will be doing the similar task that remote agent one do, but instead of the flight, it will do the same thing for the hotels. So I'm just passing the same instruction over here for the hotels. Like you have to recommend the some hotels to the user as per their requirement. It should have hotel name, location, rating, etc. And then there are some guidelines. And then I'm just creating the same syntax of creating the AI agents for in the ADK, but name will be the host, like hotel agent, then hotel search. And I am having the search tool, and the idea of having the search tool is that because we can LLM cannot have the idea what kind of hotels are there. So for that it has to go to the internet and identify what are the hotels are there. That's why we have we need a tool for this particular agent, so that we can interact with the external world in order to get the real time information to show to the user. And that's why we are using here search hotel tool. But under the hood we are not using any API, and reason being that we don't want to use it, but we try to replicate the same thing over here. First we will receive the hotel request from the user. These are the details we will receive: city, check-in date, check-out date, rooms, etc. Then we are having some random name of the hotels, then we are having some random locations, then amenities, and then we created a search hotel tools, and it will take a hotel request as a input, and it will try to create a output like okay, these are the hotels I have found, and this is the format. So in that way, like we we created a tool and tried to have the replication of the real world scenario. And this time, when while creating the executor for this particular AI agents, we are using the port 8002 instead of 8001. So this is how, like, this process is very similar. Once you able to create agent one, then you will be able to create the agent two as well. So now let's spin up this server as well. Let me go there. So I'm just running it using the unicorn, and I can show you after it's run. Okay, it start running. And if you want to have a look of the agent card of this one, you can go to this URL. So this is the agent card for your hotel booking. You can see that input output will be plain text, the hotel booking agents, and this is the like description it is having, and this is like hotel search and this authentication. So as soon as you expose your AI agents to the executor, the AI agent card will be created for your AI agent, and it will be hosted through that particular URL. Like this will be the different, like local, instead of local host 8002, there will be some URL that where your AI agent will be hosted, but the endpoint will be the same, like dot well known agent card dot json. So this is like kind of a constant in A2A protocols. So now we are having the two agents. One agent is running on 8001, another agent is running 8002. So these two agents are running separately each other. They don't have any, so far they are running individually in the isolated manner. Now let's go to the ADK agents. So this will be our host agent as well. So we need to create a agent over here as well. So here I would, so these are the like required library I'm like exporting to create the AI agents. This is the API key. So here, like I'm establishing a connection remote A2A. So this is the class I'm using from this ADK kit. Uh, the what does this class do? It try to establish a connection with the external agent that are exposed to A2A discovery through executor. So for flight agent, I'm using this class. I'm passing in name flight agent. I'm passing the description agent to search flight. Then agent card. So agent card is this is the URL, right? This is the URL, and this well-known path is similar to that .json well-known path. This is the hard coded, that's why it is there in this particular variable also. Similarly, I'm doing for the hotel agents. I'm using that remote A2 agent. This will do the it will establish a connection with the remote repository of the agent card. I'm passing the name so that our client or host agent will understand, okay, this particular hotel agent is a hotel agent, and its task is to search the hotels, and this agent card, it can fetch the agent card from this particular URL. And this everything is now local, that's why you are saying the local, otherwise it will become your actual URL will come. So that's it. So by this line of like few line of code, you are able to establish the connection with your remote A2A agents. Now I'm just using the same code, like like calling the OpenAI model and then passing that OpenAI model to the ADK agents. Here, like I'm passing it, right? I'm passing a model, I'm passing the instruction or description agent to help user to search flight and hotels and plan the trip for user. I'm passing some instruction as well in order to guide some like control the output, and it's variable, like it you can also try out some different instruction for yourself. Then I'm passing as a sub agent. So what are those sub agent? These are the flight agent and these are the hotel agents, and we haven't uh, created those agents. We just using this line of command somebody else created for us, and we are just using them. So this is the power of AI agents, like or A2A protocols. Even for example, this agent is not created by us like in the real scenario, but still we will be able to use this agent under our local or host agents. So you can give the sub agent over here, and if there are three or four, you can give three or four as well there. And yeah, that's about the host agent. And one thing, like I want to give more pressure here, whenever you are working with A2A, each of your agent will be part of the Python package. That means, for example, for this agent will be having a file underscore init.py. So each of the agent will be having this file, like init file. This remote one is also having the init file, and this is also having the init file. So this is the requirement of A2A communication, like your all the AI agent should be the part of the Python package. So now I am going to run this particular host agent under the debug mode, and we know that whenever we run anything in a debug mode, then we can see the what are the underlying working of a particular system as well. So that's why I'm going to run this into a debug mode, and this is the command in ADK that you can run the agent into the debug in a web debug mode. Let me run it.
So you have to create the server as well as for each of the client
Yes,
agent.
yes. Yes, yes. For each of the remote agent, we have to create a server for them. And for the host agent, you have to host it like as normal.
All right.
Okay. So I'm going to this particular URL. So here you can say that I am getting AI assistant over here. And let me say hi, and it will give me the response. So we got that, hello, how can I assist you in today? Are you planning to help with the flights, hotels, and trip planning, right? So the host agent is doing their job very well, right? Because this is the instruction we have given to the host agent, that you have to help the user in planning the trip by hotels booking or by flight search, right? And you can see that this by when we say hi, it did not try to search any other agents, because it never felt that it required some other agent to perform some task. So if I say, can you show me the flights from Hello to Goa. See, like you can see that it's transferring this particular request to the agent. So which agent it is doing that? This is the flight agent. If I hover it, you can say that agent name is flight. Here also agent name is flight, but we haven't received any response because the this request was not fulfilling the required schema of the input output. So now it's analyzing, okay, why I am getting null response from this particular agent. Then it will ask me the required question that are defined by the input schema of that particular agents. But we can see that like we are able to call that, okay, now this like null, these are the flight from Delhi to Goa, these are taking the dates, uh, these are the option it is giving to me. So if I ask like, can you show me the hotels as well? So now it's going to like hotel agents. You can see that the agent name is hotel agents. So it's going there. So now you're asking, could you please provide me the check-in, check-out dates, number of adults, etc., etc. So I can say that check-in is 22 May, check-out is 24 May. What else it's asking? Adults is 4, rooms 2, budget budget is 10K. So now again it's hitting to the hotel agents and it giving me these details like this is the hotels, Royal Orchid hotels, Marriott hotels. So it's giving me this kind of search. So we have seen that our host agent don't have much capability, but it is acting as a orchestrator. But as per the user query, it is able to call out the right agent. Like if we are asking about the flight, it can go to the flight agent, right? You can see that here. If I click here, like it is going to the flight agent. If we are asking with respect to the hotel, it is able to call the hotel agent over here. So yeah, that's how the A2A agent works in practical scenario wise.
Hello Ashish, just one question. So if we want to save the context or want to send this whole context again, so will it go to the host agent or the hotel agent?
No, first it will go to the host agent, then host agent will decide based on the context whom to pass this task.
Sure. So where will be the memory, like for the last message you it is giving, if we want to say select Radisson Blue and tell all the prices. So is this memory getting stored somewhere or what uh, are you getting
Uh,
the question?
yeah, like as of now, it's just getting stored under this particular chat thread over here. But in the real time scenario, that you can see that event ID, right? As of now, it's getting stored in the event ID. But in real case scenario, you have to use some database or like cache database or in memory database to utilize this one. So even if I ask like, okay, can you book, it it won't be able to book it because it doesn't have the capability of the booking that things. So it if even if I say that, okay, Ashish, Lucky, so it will be asking all details, but it in the final it will give this answer that I cannot do that. Currently, I can assist in the searching. I cannot book the ticket for you. But you can see that, right? It is having the context from the memory, right? Like I haven't given the dates in this particular chat, but it still remember that 22 May and 24, right? 24 May is checkout date. So it has the context, and this context is remaining with your orchestrator agent. It's not going to the uh, like remote agents. Yeah, any other question, guys?
So for a learning purpose, should we go to documentation of Google ADK? Because I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
that.
like for framework, if you need to have the knowledge of ADK as a framework, you go to the ADK. And if you want to know A2A, then Google has created a very nice document for A2A as well.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, guys, any other question? Okay, if you don't have any question, then we can conclude today's session. Thank you everyone guys for joining.